Welcome to this very special episode of the India Revival Mission. I'm Tamanna Inamdar, and today we are speaking with the CEO of Bandhan Bank, Mr. C.S. Ghosh. Now, Bandhan Bank is uniquely positioned to give us a view on how India will revive and where we stand in this revival mission. It's also very exciting times for the banking space with the Reserve Bank of India's internal working group coming out with a set of recommendations for fresh bank licenses. Of course, there would be some time before any or all of them, if they do fructify, but they have shed a light on what can change in the banking sector. So having said that, let me welcome Mr. Ghosh to the show. Thank you so much for speaking with us here at ET Now, Mr. Ghosh. And let me begin really by getting your views on the recommendations by the RBI panel on the banking sector and bank licenses.
After a long time, Reserve Bank of India has come this type of change of the policy, which is a fit for the banking industry. The new bank will be like to come forward and serve to the financial services to the country people. If you see that the one point on that, the very big debate on that, but they are given very good suggestion, the subject to approval on that. That is an ownership pattern. So those are started any of the bank. There is a need on that, and the latest license condition is a 3-layer structure. But now they are saying that if they are not any other business other than banking, they cannot be needed on that to do as a 3-layer structure. So that is a very good. And the second point on that, whenever any bank will start, the promoter stake are coming down, taken that within 3 years, 40%, and within 10 years, that is in 20%, and then is in another 5 years, then taken on that 15 years to 15%. But that has been come on that from the starting of the bank, and there is no need on that the dilution. So that will be like to dilution can be happened by 15 years. So there's a long time given on that to dilution of the promoter stake. That is a very good way they are suggested in this paper.
Specifically, sir, for Bandhan Bank, what impact would these recommendations have if they were to be approved? And of course, I keep reiterating that these are only recommendations right now. But if some or all of them were to go through, what would be the biggest impact specifically for Bandhan Bank?
The biggest impact of the Bandhan Bank on that, you know that we are already 40% dilution of the promoter dilution have been done. So as per the old policy of the Reserve Bank, that means in that to 2025 we have need dilution under 20%, and 2030 will be dilution on that another 15%. So that have been now given that 26% promoters can be hold beyond the 15 years. That means 2030, we have not need to dilution any of the promoter stake. Only 4% will be dilution. I have the time of that 10 years. So that is a big the reliever for the Bandhan Bank. And second point of the Bandhan Bank, part of this, the holding company. So will be decided to Bandhan Bank will be served as a financial services as a whole, not only the banking services. We also like to provide that insurance services and mutual fund. So in that sense, that the 3-layer structure, Bandhan Bank will continue and provide that insurance and other services to the people as a financial inclusion. Overall total will become on that.
You know, since we're talking about the RBI panel recommendations, Mr. Ghosh, they have also attracted a lot of comment. The most recent being from former RBI Governor Dr. Raghuram Rajan and former RBI Deputy Governor Viral Acharya, who think that at least on the part of corporates or industry having a larger stake in banks, it's a bad idea. They have cautioned against corporates running banks. What are your views on some of these comments that are being made?
There is a big personality, and I cannot debate with them. My feelings on that, it can be open for all, and maybe many of the structure such a way designed, whatever that the point they are fear that can be covered, and RBI monitoring and supervision system should be differently conduct with this type of entity if some corporate will come to the bank license. So that means that it cannot be like to stop. It can be open, but the monitoring supervision system will become such a way, whatever the problem they are feeling on that can be like to cover by the monitoring supervision.
Let me turn my attention now to where we are in regards to the revival of the economy. Now we're speaking on the eve of the second quarter GDP numbers, which are expected to be put out. Largely, it's expected that it will be, of course, a vast improvement over minus 24%. And there is a general sense that the pace of economic recovery has been faster than expected in quarter 2 and quarter 3. What has been your own experience on ground in terms of the segments that you largely lend to, which are informal sector, unorganized sector, which have been the most badly hit by the COVID-19 pandemic?
There's a very correct on that. The COVID lockdown have been started in April and May, and when it has been open in June, immediately the result has come. Whatever we saw, it's a very fantastic on that. And after that, in the September, also very fantastic result has come. If I say that the unorganized sector in the ground level, which I talked with the people, the ground level means unorganized many of the enterprise in the rural India. So rural COVID effect is low, and there also movement very quick as a come out from the home to the business. And that has been seen that the demand also has come rural is higher than the urban and metro. Sorry. And simultaneously, if you see that after the September, whatever the October and November, there is people's movement have been started such a way to rural to metro and urban because of the train have already opened, which is the best vehicle for the rural and city connectivity. And state to state connectivity also is some of the states have been started on that. And that is a one restriction and our struggle for the businessman on that. But my feeling, I saw that very quick recovered the economy because of the people's the demand has come good, and they are doing their business, and the credit demand is coming very good on that. And always a credit demand, as in we are one indicator is a Puja and Diwali. And Puja and Diwali, if we see that in our side, the 95% of my disbursement is a near to pre-COVID situation has come in the last year of the Puja time. So if it isn't showing on that, that means the ground level, the people started the business, their liquidity is now needed on that, and their cash flow also permit to get the loan, and lenders also started the credit to them. So I hope that this is a very good sign for India economy further grow on that. And the next 2 quarter is a very crucial. In every of the bank, we know that the next last 2 quarters is a very crucial because the credit growth really has come to next 2 quarters. And whatever we are seeing the hope, so that means it is a very good normal will become next financial year. From the beginning, we can see that very normal of the credit growth, people's demand, and the consumer demand. I hope that it can be helped to the economic growth normal from the 21-22.
Can you share some specifics with us, Mr. Ghosh, in terms of credit growth? You're saying you're expecting credit growth to stabilize in the next 2 quarters. What levels are credit growth at, and where do you see them going?
No, I again mention on that because I saw that 95% of the disbursement happened, which compared to the last year puja time. That means showing on that a credit growth is coming near to normal. And that will be the next 2 quarters.
Okay, and what about collections? What is the situation of collections? I was reading an interview of yours which said that collections were at 95% in October itself. Since then, have things only improved or have they stabilized?
No, this is a day by day improving on that. Very surprised of that. The 95% of the people started to repay in the microcredit is a very, very good number. Because the microcredit is in behavioral credit. Behavioral credit means the customer, if they started the repay to the bank, so they cannot be stopped. And it will be going towards on that the finish, and they are again. That means it is the showing on that their demand also have. Because of the demand is there, they are also repaying. So that means they will get the new credit. So that is another symbol we have been find out on that. The customer repayment of the 95%, that means the 95% people have the demand of the future is coming on that. And another 5%, it was because of the last couple of months, that is a train service have been not open, but so last the 1 week before it has been open. So now that types of business persons are now coming to the city to sell their product, and they are also buyer are going to their places to buy, and interstates people also coming to buy to the big hub. So that has been helped on that. This 5% also coming to the normal, and this next 2 quarters.
Mr. Ghosh, can you give us a sense of any kind of restructuring requirements that have come, from your base, or the NPA situation? Is that a concern at all? Even as you say that things have improved better than expected, but surely there would have been quite a big hit of the COVID-19 pandemic.
As per the previous experience, if I see that microcredit, they are not asking any time is a restructuring. And they are only asking sometimes in the 2 and 3 weeks more time to close the loan on that. That is a normal practice in a microcredit on that. In this time, whatever we see that in the repayment rate, or the collection efficiency, 95% has come, customer are paying. That means it is showing the improvement such a way. I hope that this customer have not need the restructuring. But if I go to my housing loan and my MSME loan, few customers have been, we feel that we can give the restructuring very much 4 to 5 customers we have need to give as of now on that. So as a bank, we have a very small ticket size of the loan. If you go to housing, MSME or microcredit, all are small ticket size, is not in a comparable standard banking system. So that the restructuring demand is not that much on this.
Okay. You spoke about seeing things get back to normal per se from the next financial year, so from March 2021 or FY 2022. How is that expected to happen, Mr. Ghosh, when the GDP will just about, growth will just about, perhaps if we're lucky, come back to 2019 levels? Where will this credit demand come from? Where do you see this credit demand really coming from? Which sectors, which areas?
If it is what we see that the credit demand is coming from the essential goods and services is more. And if I say that, I give the one example on that. That's the last Sunday, I have been trying to check on that. Can I get one resort? What are the status of that? Surrounding the Calcutta city, all resorts are full. They are totally full, booked on that, and all people are movement in there to enjoy that. And that. The demand is coming on that. So maybe the city hotel are not that much the booking, but in the outside, all the resort, if you go to across the country, the people are movement in such a way and using those on that. That is a demand. So that demand is coming on that. So I see that if you see that the couple of last Sunday, or one of the news has come from the best housing company of our country, and say that they have been received the application of the housing is a record in their life. So in this moment, so this is a credit growth. This is the growth is coming. If the housing demand is coming, if the restaurant is like that, the demand and the people using on that, and resort are people using on that, and the essential goods and services people are not been avoid on that, that can be utilized on that, that can be given that the credit growth in future on that.
Okay. I want to get a sense from you because, Mr. Ghosh, you are so uniquely positioned to give us an idea about parts of the economy that don't have a lot of light on them. I want to get a sense from you also of the rural economy and not just agriculture. Have incomes there been hit? Has the ability to repay loans or take credit been hit? Or is it robust? Is it, the same kind of narrative that we've been hearing, that rural India is really pushing the recovery story, and have you seen glimpses of that?
Yes, rural economy always depend on the agriculture. And more other thing also, agriculture and allied. That is, agriculture has been, the COVID time, it has been, the production has come very good. Farmers have been got the very good price on that. So that is the one hope side on that. The rural people's demand have been increased because their demand depend on agriculture, the production on that. I given another example on that. I talked with the maybe very not far, but in the small city of West Bengal called the Siliguri. No, people are very normal. No mask, no number of the case affected. So people are not feel that the COVID is happening on that. So rural is like that. So if rural is like that, and agriculture production is coming good, and allied production also happening and demand is there. So automatically the economy or whichever the contribution by the rural, it can become as a normal. If it is coming as a normal, agriculture is a contribution is coming as a normal. So I hope that the next financial year it will become normal. But it will depend on the consumer demand. Consumer demand is increasing more.
What are the challenges ahead to this recovery trajectory that you see, Mr. Ghosh? I mean, right now, as we speak, there are some states which have started night curfews again in certain districts, and there is a concern that cases could rise again, especially as the winter months roll on. Is that a red herring or sort of a red flag that we have to be careful of and could derail the entire recovery process?
If you see that whatever the case we are now finding out, it isn't totally based in urban or metro and very much pocket. So we will not forget to use the mask and maintain the distance. We can be like to make it in a normal habit of the people that is needed on that. If we like to practice on that, I hope that we can be like to run our business and life with a COVID.
Ghosh, a lot of businesses and people who run businesses that I have spoken to have often talked about how the coronavirus pandemic has changed their outlook and their way of doing business completely. For Bandhan Bank, what have been the biggest changes in terms of use of technology, in terms of remote working? Has anything massively changed, or it's just been business as usual?
No, it is I saw that my digital transaction or the used by the customer have been drastically improved, has come on that, and month on month basis it has been improved with the 40 to 60% on the basis of based on that. That is a good improvement we find out on that. Second thing on that, we have been introduced in that the online people can open the account, and they can be like to and their KYC also can be done by the video KYC on that. So that is also, so we see that the very good improvement has come. The people have been respond has come very good on that. So these are two things I have been see that this pandemic situation, it has been pushed to the people to use more in a digital mode. That is the future of the banking industry, I feel that. And specific Bandhan Bank also focusing on that more.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for taking out the time for speaking with us today, Mr. Ghosh.
Thank you.